Thank you for joining us. The meeting will begin shortly. If you are having technical difficulties, please contact WebEx Help at 866-229-3239. Please note this public meeting is being recorded. Tonight, we look forward to sharing information with you about the project, responding to your questions, and listening to your comments. After the presentation, we'll provide instructions on how you could submit comments or ask questions to the study team. Participants joining us via their computers on WebEx or through their phones are currently muted. I'll describe the meeting format and how to participate in just a moment. But first, if you are having any technical issues right now, you may need to hang up or log off, then redial or reconnect. If that does not work, please contact WebEx Help at 866-229-3239. Again, that number is 866-229-3239. We're looking forward to your comments and questions after the presentation. We'll describe and display instructions for asking a question or making a comment. Keep in mind that after this meeting, you can continue to ask questions or provide comments anytime by visiting the project website. That website is https://www.dot.gov/event/CR84-bridge-public-meeting/. The format for tonight is a short presentation, then the remainder of the meeting will be open to the Q&A portion of the meeting. Please note that this event is being recorded and will be posted on the website. If you need closed captioning, please click the CC button in the bottom left corner of your screen to turn it on. Now I will hand it over to Raiz to begin the meeting.
Good evening. Welcome to the public information meeting for 6/10/10/01 Cibola County Road 84 Bridge Replacement Project over the BNSF Railroad. My name is Raiz Rizvi. I am the project development engineer on this project, and I'm also the technical support engineer at District 6, Milan. The NMDOT has procured the services of HDR Engineering to assist in the development of this project. And I'd like to turn this presentation to the project manager of HDR, Danton Bean.
Thank you, Raiz. We appreciate everyone attending tonight, and we look forward to your input and comments. Let me give you an idea. Where we're headed tonight in our presentation. First, I want to introduce the design team and then introduce the project and its location. We want to make sure that we define what the purpose of this meeting is and the purpose of our project. There is a little bit of a history to the project that we want to cover, and also give you an overview of the project where it is today, and then talk about the next steps and schedule going forward. And then we'll conclude with how you can give us your input, and we'll have a question and answer session. So that's kind of the roadmap of where we're going tonight. Let me, now that we've covered that, let me give you introductions of our design team. For the New Mexico Department of Transportation, Lisa Vega is the District 6 engineer. Arif Kazmi is the Assistant District Engineer. You just heard from Rais Rizvi, who is the Technical Support Engineer. And Stephen Gisler is the Environmental Bureau Specialist, and Jennifer Mullins is the Public Involvement Specialist. And then on the HDR team, we have Antonio Nunez Tovar, who is a roadway engineer, Edgar Hernandez, who is also helping on the roadway design, Jordan Chavez is the drainage engineer, and Eric Johnson is our environmental planner. So now let me describe a little bit about the project location. The project is located about 30 miles west of Albuquerque. And if I zoom in a little bit closer to the location, you can see I-40 on our slide, and at exit 126, if you go south on New Mexico 6 a few miles, you'll intersect with Cibola County Road 84. You may also know this road as Historic Route 66 or Sparrow Hawk Road. And then zooming even closer into our project location, from that intersection, if you go a few hundred feet to the west, is the location of the existing bridge, and that's the structure that we're here to talk about in replacement. Here's a picture of the project area looking west. You're probably real familiar with this view. Those that live in this area, you can see the posted weight limit sign to the right, and the profile of the roadway going up and over the railroad tracks. Here's a view that's down closer to the bridge at the railway elevation, looking towards the bridge. You can see the concrete pier wall and the timber members of the end spans of the structure. This is a view up top on the roadway, and you can see the narrow width of the bridge and some of the failures that have happened on the roadway approaching the bridge. This view is a little bit farther away from the structure and looking towards the north. Again, you can see the existing structure with its timber end spans, the concrete pier walls adjacent to the railway, and then the embankment, the approaching embankment that's built up with some rock covering rock riprap. All right, so now let's talk about the purpose of the meeting. You know, this is an important meeting in our development of our project, and we want to give the public, give you information about the development, what has been happening, and then also ask for your feedback and insights about the project area and the proposed improvements. So that's really what we're doing tonight. So as I mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about the history. The project started in 2016 with a study. And in that study, we looked at several different alternatives. First, the no-build alternative, meaning that there would be no improvements, no construction. And really that alternative was rejected pretty quickly. It would not meet the purpose and the need of the project. And so that alternative was eliminated quickly. Also, rehabilitation alternative was considered, and that would be improving the existing structure and roadway to an improved level. And again, that alternative was eliminated pretty quickly because it did not fulfill the needs and the purpose of the project. So then the build alternatives, meaning that something new would be built. And we looked at seven different build alternatives. And in the small exhibit towards the bottom, you can see some of those different alignments and alternatives that were considered. The study effort was completed in February of 2017. Here's a larger zoom view of the alternatives that were considered in the study phase. And we'll get into a little bit more detail of what the selected alternative out of the study was here in just a minute. Before we get into that, let me continue with talking about the history of the project. Another aspect of the project development that is really important is the environmental documentation. And one part of that, well, again, that started in 2016. And an important part of that environmental documentation is the public meeting and outreach to the public. And we held a public meeting in October of 2016. And there was a great turnout to that meeting, and there was a lot of strong support for an offset alignment and allowing the traffic to maintain on existing alignment during construction. The other thing we heard during that meeting was the request for an additional left turn lane on New Mexico 6 to Cibola County Road. So the development of the project continued in 2017 and to a preliminary design level, or a 30% is what we, 30% design. And the development was paused in July of 2017. There was a lack of funding. There was no funding for construction programmed at that time. And the development was stopped. So now jumping on to the recent efforts, in November of last year, the design development was reinitiated. And in part of the thoughts around reinitiating that effort was the possibility of additional funding coming, and we wanted to get this project ready in case that funding was available for construction. And we'll get into that funding discussion a little bit more in just a minute. Okay, so now let's make sure we're understanding what the issues, or what it is we're trying to correct in the project. And the first thing is to recognize that the bridge was built in 1934 and has really outlived its design life. And some of the timber members are reinforced with steel plates and straps, and the bridge is posted for weight. And one of the other things we heard during the public meeting was that these signs are often vandalized or removed and damaged, and some people are also ignoring those weight limit signs that are posted adjacent to the bridge. The narrow bridge, the width of the bridge is narrow and does not meet current standards for bridges. And then the height and the width for the railroad tracks really does not meet current standards and really does not meet the railroad's desire for an additional track at some point. So those are really the issues that we were trying to fix. And so now let's make sure we're understanding what the purpose of this is, and it's really to provide improve the safety and access of the public that are used this crossing, and then to meet the standards, the current standards for both BNSF and for the Highway Department. All right, so now I want to get into a discussion on this, the selected alternative. And as I mentioned before in the public meeting, there was a strong voice towards an offset alignment for the construction. And so you can see here that the new roadway, the new bridge, is proposed to be offset towards the north. And that allows for the traffic to remain on the existing roadway while the new facility is being constructed. So a new bridge, new road is built, and then we would remove the existing bridge and roadway pavement. We're also adding a new left turn lane on New Mexico 6 that allows for safer movements into Cibola County Road. This is an elevation view of the bridge, and so you can see how it's we're trying to maintain the look of the current bridge with approaching embankment that slopes down towards the railroad tracks. We also would like to maintain the open appearance from the roadway with open steel railing. And then we want to improve upon the width and vertical clearance geometry. This is a typical section of the proposed bridge, and you can see that it's going to be wider. We'll have shoulders on the roadway, driving lanes. You can see the metal railing that's on each side. And then proposing the addition of pedestrian screen fence that's on the side of the bridges to help for safety of pedestrians and protect the railroad tracks. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about schedule and where things are going. We expect to complete the design of the project the midpoint of next year, and then the part we also want to make sure that we clearly communicate is that the construction at this point has not been determined. There is still a funding shortage for the project, and that funding has not been identified. Like I said, we were hopeful of additional funds that could be available for the construction of this project. There's been a significant increase in construction costs that seems to be absorbing any available funding that's there, and allocating funds for this project has not occurred yet. It is definitely a priority for the district, and they're doing all that they can to allocate funds for construction. But at this point, that construction season schedule is not determined. So let me turn it back to Bryce to cover how to provide input and in the Q&A.
Thank you, Dan. Our public comment period extends through November 21st. There are a number of ways you can provide comments. At tonight's meeting, you may ask questions to the study team. We will try to take questions in the order they were received. If you aren't ready to comment right tonight and would like to take more time to provide your feedback, you can do the following. Provide comments online via the website, the project website at public-meeting/. You can also comment on the project phone line at 505-697-1985. You can also email your comments to eric.johnson@nv5.com, and you can mail your comments to Cibola County Road, 84, Bridge Replacement Project, C/O at Eric Johnson, NV5 at 4374 Alexander Boulevard, Northeast Suite K in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87107. All comment methods are considered equal. And again, comments are extended through November 21st, 2022. And on to the next slide. To verbally make a statement or ask a question, we ask that you please virtually raise your hand. Here's how to do that. For those of you using WebEx through your internet browser, mobile phone app, or WebEx desktop app, simply follow the instructions on the screen. If you would like to ask a question or make a statement, you can click the raised hand icon. When you are called, the moderator will unmute your mic and allow you to speak. When you are finished, the moderator will mute your line, and we ask that you lower your hand by clicking on the raised hand icon again. Again, for those joining us online, all these WebEx instructions are showing on your screen. If you are joining by phone as a call-in participant, press *3 if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment. This gives us a hand raised signal. When it's your turn to speak, we'll call on you and your line will be unmuted. When you finish speaking, press *3 again to remove the hand raised signal. If you have joined us using one of the WebEx applications, you may choose to submit your question or comment in writing using the WebEx Q&A feature. These instructions are displayed on the screen. Remember, if you are joining by phone, press *3 if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment. This gives us a hand raised signal, and when it's your turn to speak, we'll call on you and your line will be unmuted. When you finish speaking, press *3 again to remove the hand raised signal. As a reminder, if you are having technical issues, please contact WebEx help at 866-229-3239. We will do our best to respond to questions in the order they are received. Please be patient as we may have many questions. If needed, we can extend our meeting time by up to 10 minutes to respond to questions. If we still have outstanding questions at that time, we will respond to written questions as part of the meeting summary and provide to participants via email and post on our project webpage. For those on the phone who may submit questions or comments by phone or other methods following the meeting, we will now begin answering questions. And this begins the question and answer portion of the meeting. And we do have one question so far. People sometimes park on the bridge to take pictures. Can the bridge be posted for no parking to prevent this?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen. I appreciate that that question. That was one of the comments that we also heard during the last public meeting, and there's a couple of things that will help in the new bridge. One, it will be wider up on top, but we do not encourage parking on top of the bridge. That is a safety concern. But so there will be signs added adjacent to the bridges that that warns or discourages parking on top of the bridge. Stephen, have that we answer that question?
Yes, thank you, Danton.
Thanks.
And it does look like we have a raised hand from Lena. I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, Benavides. So I'm going to request to unmute your line.
My name is Lena Benavides. I'm the Valencia County Public Works Director. I understand you guys don't have funding for this, and as the director, we do always seek funding. So anything that we can do on our behalf to assist, we're working on our TIP right now this year, and we'll get started, of course, in our ICIP coming. We usually start it like around March, even though it's due in September. We just kind of start our projects. So if there's anything we can do on our behalf to support this project, please feel free to reach out to me. Whatever we can do, because it's a pretty big safety issue with that bridge. We have equipment, our graders going over that bridge to maintain those roads that, that we maintain, that are on our county maintain list. So, like I said, just please feel free to reach out to me. I can put my contact information on the chat if needed.
Great,
Thank you very much. Yeah, we will, whatever we can do, we will reach out to you. In the future, we are also looking for some grants. So maybe we can piggyback with you on the county side and then try for some grants with, as you know, the IIJR has several funding mechanism. So we'll try with that. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Right, and it does look like we have another question in the chat from Robin. What about a second exit out of Highland Meadows?
Rais, that may be a question for the department. I'm not aware of any other studies in the area that's considering that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any study that's going on right now that's looking at a potential for a second exit. So, yeah, I'm not sure if there's any study going on right now.
Stephen, did you want to join in on that conversation, or did you have a different question?
I actually had a different question, although I do believe that BNSF was one of the obstacles to creating another exit into the community, an at-grade crossing. I think BNSF was putting a roadblock up against that, but I'm not positive, so I guess don't quote me on that.
Stephen, before you leave that made me think about the conversation that we had with them way back, in that every at-grade crossing that BNSF allows, they request that 2 others be removed. And so that, that's a challenging situation. If you're going to add one here, then the department would have to find 2 other ones to remove. So that kind of helps in that, to see the perspective in that question.
Right, that's my memory of that as well. I did have a question that I was hoping the attendees and the local folks might be able to help with. We had a comment prior to the meeting that there were burrowing owls present in the approach fills on the bridge. And I've never personally seen that, and I'm really curious if that's real. So if anyone in the community could let us know if they have or have not seen owls, that would give us some assistance with that. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And just a reminder, you guys are able to put your responses or questions into the chat. And you also, for call-in users, you can press *3 if you'd like to raise your hand, and we can see that and we'll unmute you. All right, we have another question from Robin. She said, yes, we have burrowing owls out here, but I don't know if they burrow into the bridge area.
Thank you for that
Robin.
feedback, Robin.
Bryce, do you see any other questions, comments coming in?
Robin just sent another message saying you're welcome. The only reason, bumped up a little bit. The only reason I asked about the second exit is because if we have a problem with the bridge, the residents are trapped. Thank you for that, Robin. And we did have another question from Jennifer. So we do have, this meeting is being recorded and it will be posted onto the website. So we'll be able to watch any of these it'll be posted on the event page, and I will post that again for anyone that would like to have the link for that. So I will link that currently.
Again, we want to thank everyone for attending today, and feel free to pass along to your friends and others the website information, and they can see the presentation on the video there. So we thank you, everyone, and we appreciate your attendance.
Thank you for your attendance.